Stop being such an elitist, Stu. You're an elitist jerk. And I don't like it, and your opinion is invalid because you're an elitist. It's time for another non-argument. This is the elitist non-argument. It's one I get quite often. Someone accuses me of being an elitist of X, a fantasy elitist, a metal elitist, a baroque elitist. I'm an elitist of different things. Now, this is just another variation of the ad hominem, but it's one that I think is quite amusing because it's really, really self-deprecating when you think about it. Because the heart of the elitist claiming that someone is an elitist, is basically saying that their standards are too high. And if their standards are too high, then you, as the speaker, have low standards. Your standards are going to be lower than those. And those by themselves are not really arguments. If you set a standard and something doesn't meet the standard, that's just what it is. If it's like, oh, you know, here you got to get 1,000 on your SATs, and your SATs you get 850. It's like you didn't meet the standard of 1,000 to be admitted into this program. It's like, well, this is an elitist program. It's like, well, maybe it is. What does that matter? That just means that you weren't smart enough to get in. When you claim that someone's like, why do you have to be such an elitist? It's kind of like saying you're wrong because I'm stupider than you. It's making a claim that you're on a lower level. And as far as adjustment of standards, I know that my standards are not too high because things meet them all the time. Now, I get this comment a lot, but I'm going to read you a recent one because it's so full of this little sort of emotionally defensive sophistry. I just thought it'd be interesting to just kind of read it in its entirety. This was on a review of a Mark Lawrence book called Prince of Thorns that I did a while back. It's a fantasy book. I don't really recommend it, and the reason I don't really recommend it is because the main character is a total Mary Sue or Gary Stu, whatever you want to call it. As a 13-year-old kid in the book, he's like an incomparable killer, literally good at everything, more advanced in learning than any adults, and is even better at sex than everyone around him. So you can imagine how believable that is to me. In other words, it's not believable, and I didn't enjoy the book. Let me go ahead and read you the comment. I'm afraid you've missed the point entirely, not an argument. The elitist allergy to power trip literature, such as that of Lawrence and Rothfuss, is getting old, not an argument. You're not taking the book for what it is, not an argument. You're not judging it on its level, not an argument. Poor reviewing, pull it together, also not an argument. So there's no arguments in this. So missed the point entirely. Well, what's the point? Let's get to the elitist part, though. The elitist allergy to power trip literature. Now, calling someone elitist is an ad hominem, but power trip literature, right? Saying, oh, why do you have such an allergy to power trip literature? It's like, because it's bad, right? Because it's not good or effective or believable. That's why. It's like, trying to say something negative about someone that they don't like, hand-drawn, harem doujins done in MS Paint. It's like, why do you have to be such an elitist and not like this MS Paint doujin? It's like, because I don't, because it's bad, because those things are bad. So it's not really like recusing the standard at all. It's just saying like, you're smarter than me, and that annoys me. Also, I just want to clarify that I don't dislike Rothfuss because it's power trip literature and it's full of Gary Stews, but because it's boring. I find his writing very tiresome. That's just me. You're free to have a different opinion than me. If I don't like something that you like, that's okay. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. But if you call me an elitist, you're basically revealing what you feel in your inner heart, which is that you are in fact inferior to me. By saying you're an elitist, it's like, well, do you feel inferior to me? Yes, that's why I'm calling you an elitist. Like, okay, well then, be gone, peasant. Be gone. The other thing, reviewing something on its level, right? I do this all the time. I talk about expectations. But when you look at a book, like if I have The Cat in the Hat, right? Cat in the Hat's a great book for 4-year-olds. Do I recommend Cat in the Hat as a satisfying literary experience for intelligent adults? I don't. And I don't recommend Prince of Thorns either. So you guys have a great one. Let me know what you think about the elitist jerk kind of non-argument. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can check out my books down below. And I have a new one coming out called Needle Ash. So hop on my mailing list, dvspress.com/list. Hop on either one. The freebie list is pretty much just freebies. The other list is everything I kind of do. And I'm pretty infrequent with that email list, so you're not going to get spammed or anything. But if you're on that email list, you get that book for free. You're going to get Needle Ash for free. And I'll explain in some future videos what I'll be doing with that book. And I hope you will join me for those. You guys have a great one, and I will see you next time.